everybody, welcome to ABA Inside Track Preview Edition. It's the video that's like reading in your car, but safer. I'm your host, Robert Perry Cruz, and with me as always are my fabulous co-hosts.
Hey Rob, it's Diana.
And it's Jackie. Don't watch this video while being in your car.
No.
You can listen, but don't watch.
Listen, you can watch it when you're not driving in your car. This is our April 2019 preview video, getting you all ready for all of the behavior analytic research that we will be discussing in the coming weeks of April. Yes, spring has sprung, and just like spring, new topics also they sprung up in our minds and the minds of great researchers and listeners. Yes, listeners too. Mm-hmm. And so we will be discussing them. So if you're new to the show, every week except for these starter weeks, we will pick a topic in behavior analysis and discuss some recent research on that topic, like a little journal club. So we're always very excited to do that. And this month is no exception. We have 3 great topics coming up. Would you like to know what they are, everybody?
I would.
You actually chose many of them, so I hope you already know what they are.
Wait.
I already forgot.
What?
Is your mic on?
My mic's on.
My mic is on. I just checked.
Oh, good.
You always complain. Every recording, Diana complains about sound check, and then the one time I don't have her do sound check is a little nervous.
I got nervous.
A little nervous that we don't have the mic on. Oh, my. It's a professional operation we have here. Great. All right, so this month we'll be talking about 3 great topics, and the first of those topics is one that's kind of a follow-up on one we did, 2 months ago now? A month ago? I can't keep track.
Me neither.
I can't keep track.
It was episode 76.
Some time ago.
That was sometime
On
sometime
gamification.
in the past. Yes, so this one kind of stemmed from there. We had a great topic of gamification, and then there was an article on gamification and healthy foods that we weren't able to get to, so then we said, hey, let's just do healthy foods as its own topic. So we did. So the first episode coming out this month is going to be on healthy foods, and we have 3 articles we'll be reading, and they are Using Reinforcement and Cueing to Increase Healthy Snack Food Choices in Preschoolers by Stark, Collins Jr., Osnes, and Stokes from the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 1986.
Ooh,
After that, we'll be reading Assessing Factors That Influence Young Children's Food Preferences and Choices by Zonneveld, Nadert, Dozier, Gurigian, and Bales in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, 2019.
That's new.
Spoiler alert, it's Cheeto dust. Everyone loves it. It's their favorite.
It's so good.
And then finally, the article that actually spurred on the entire topic of discussion, Gamification of Dietary Decision-Making in an Elementary School Cafeteria by Jones, Madden, Wengreen, Aguilar, and Desjardins. And that is in, this was in PLOS 1. It's an open access journal. So you can find that easily online. So we have links to all of these on the posting on the website, so you can also find links there. So that's our first topic.
Gamification.
Our second topic, we're going to be very fortunate to have a special guest. Dr. Rocio Rosales will be joining us to talk about research that she has done on the topic of interview skills, specifically interview skills with individuals with autism, though not all of the articles are that specific about their participants.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah.
I was reading them the other night. And they are a component analysis of job interview training for young adults with autism spectrum disorder by Dr. Rosales and Whitlow. And that is in Behavioral Interventions 2019.
New.
Ooh.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the presses. We're also going to be discussing improving the interview skills of college students using behavioral skills training by Stocco, Thompson, Hart, and Soriano. And that was in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis 2017.
I love Corey Stocco.
Is it Stocco or Stocco?
Probably Stocco, but I still love him.
Corey, write in. Tell us how to pronounce your last name.
Corey,
buddy.
I still
your
love you.
Your article's great. We want to make sure we pronounce these things right. We'll also be discussing virtual reality job interview training in adults with autism spectrum disorder by Smith, Ginger, Wright, Taylor, Hum, Olson, Bell, and Fleming. And that's in the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders, 2014. Published online 2014. I think so, 2014. Some of the journals, when they don't put the years at the end, it makes it very hard to find. Yeah. So we'll double check the website. We always have the most updated citations there. And then finally, computerized behavioral skills training with selection-based instruction and lag reinforcement schedules for responses to interview questions.
All my favorite.
By O'Neill and Refelt. And that is in Behavior Analysis, Research and Practice 2017. 2016.
I love lag schedules.
I love lag
We haven't talked
schedules,
about them
too.
in a long time. I recommended them to someone the other day, though. I said, you should try these lag schedules.
They're like,
Check out my podcast, episode 3 or 4, yeah. Oh, boy. And then, to round out the month, we are going to be doing one of our patented grab bag articles. So for those, what we usually do is we take every article ever written, we throw it in a big bag, and then we reach in and we grab an article. Whatever article we get, we have to discuss it. That's the rule. And then we burn all the articles, which is really unsafe, so that next time around, we got to reprint all the articles all over again.
Diana's on a sustainability panel this month, and she's going to talk about how she needs to stop printing every article ever
that would be
written.
Step 1.
And
And then burning.
3 or 4 months we do this too. It's a pretty common trope in our episodes. Or potentially we just pick articles that seem interesting to us. It's one of the two. You decide. Here are the ones that came out of the grab bag for this month's episode. And the first is Concurrent Operant Preference Assessment to identify social consequences to decrease task latency for adolescents with dual diagnosis. That's by Robinson, DeRoche, and Napolitano. And that was in Behavioral Interventions 2019.
That's my article.
No. Oh, I
Hello.
was gonna ask them to guess.
Oh.
Oh, you
Well, now
spoiled
it's a
I
it.
ruined
50
it.
shot. This next one, if you listen to the show for any length of time, you'll know who picked this one. Nice doggy! Contact desensitization plus reinforcement decreases dog phobias for children with autism. That's by Tyner, Brewer, Hellman, Leon, Pritchard, and Schlund. And that was in Behavior Analysis in Practice 2016.
Definitely your choice, Rob.
Probably
you
mine. I
love dogs.
You know me and loving dogs. That's all I ever talk about. Dogs.
Ruff, ruff.
And then finally, does the good behavior game evoke negative peer pressure? Question mark. Analyses in primary and secondary classrooms by Groves and Austin, and that is in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis 2019.
Hot off the press.
Again, hot off the presses. That's what we like to be here at AB Inside Track. Hot off the presses.
That sounds like a lot of fun articles.
I know. Since we switched to doing these monthly, I feel like we have so many articles to read now. But we always enjoy doing it, and then we get to talk about them, which is a lot of fun.
I love talking about it.
3 episodes coming up in the next 3 weeks, and those are the articles. And like I said, you can go to our website at abainsidetrack.com where you can find all of the citations and links to find the articles online. Some of them you will need a subscription to the journal. We try to pick ones that could be found free so that
Through the gateway.
Actually, that's right, the gateway. That I always forget. The BACB has the gateway, so if you are a dues-paying member certificate, then you can access a lot of those
under the resource tab.
Under the resource tab, that's right. But there'll be links to all of them so that you can either read after our discussion or be brave and read before, and then you can yell at your radio about how wrong we are about everything.
Or go,
don't do
yeah,
that.
I totally agree.
I hope you agree.
I totally agree. Like
Our hot
that.
takes. That's all we do is hot YouTube takes on research. That's our new thing. Anyway, that's what we've got coming up this month.
Cool.
Yeah. What else is coming up this month, Diana?
So many cool things that Diana's doing.
Oh, gee, thanks. Well, coming up pretty soon in April. I don't know. I feel like I don't know the dates of anything.
23rd?
No.
Oh.
April
13th?
like 11th and 12th
Oh, yeah.
is APBA.
13th and 14th?
Yep. That time period right around then
Mm-hmm.
is APBA. And while Jackie and I are not presenting anything,
Nope.
we will be there.
We're
because
volunteering.
We're volunteers. Woohoo!
Oh, what does that entail? You just like
We are going
hand
to...
out water and stuff?
No, we are going to be the question answerers for all of the continuing education units.
Bathrooms are that way. Bathrooms are that way.
If you need to ask questions related to your CE, come and find us. We're the doctorally level prepared volunteers.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know it.
Yeah, so you can come and say hi to us
Yeah, so we'll totally
at
be
the
there
booth,
at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, we'll be around.
and we'll have a booth. No, we'll be
Are we going to
sponsored.
wear the vest?
Yep.
We'll wear the vest, guys, so you'll be able to find us. I hope you're there.
I hope you're there too.
I won't be there, so oh well.
Someone's got
Somebody's-
to hold down the fort.
all
I never
of the
go
children.
Anywhere.
And then later on in April, maybe the 25th, is just a local thing that we're doing up here, which is the BABAT Social. So it's not the big BABAT conference that we often talk about, which is in October, but this is like a little mini half-day conference in April, but I'm going to talk about supervision there.
Diana got
Yeah.
invited.
Yeah, so I'm
It's so
super
cool.
excited
I
about
can't
that.
wait.
Where are my comp? Do I get comp tickets? I go to Will Call. And I'm like, I know the speaker. It's got my
I
tickets.
live with her.
I know everybody. No, what? I gotta pay for this thing? No, it's a fun event. If
it's
so
pretty fun.
if you're in the area, if you're in the Massachusetts area, New Hampshire, I mean, anywhere in that area, but certainly if you're in that area, it is a lot of fun to come out to. It's a nice shindig, and of course you'll get to see Diana talking about supervision.
Yeah. And then also another Diana special. In the end of May, Diana and I are going to be at ABAI and also giving a workshop on supervision.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the compliment sandwich and employee of the month. So
that's right, we are.
You can sign up to come to our workshop if you want to, or not, but you can.
Whatever, they don't care.
Yeah, but we'll be there. It's on Friday.
We will be there. Yeah, we have to go. So
excellent.
Yep, and then our
some people
students
will join us.
Yeah, and then our students will be presenting on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good.
I know that's all happening.
One of the things that I think we're very fortunate is when we have special guests on the show, like we have Dr. Rosales coming up this month.
I love
month
her.
We had Dr. Leaf. We had
Dr. Vladescu.
Dr. Vladescu. And I know that sometimes they go to a few of these conferences. So those of you who are watching or listening, if you ever see any guests that you've heard on the show, please let them know if you listened to, that you enjoyed hearing them on the podcast. I think kind of having special behavior analysis researcher guests on podcasts is still kind of a new thing. I mean, I know we have, a couple podcasts out there now. We have like Matt and Behavioral Observations is more of a guest format than we are, but I think it's still kind of new. So if you tell people that you liked hearing them, when it's a good way to get more behavior analysts kind of into the idea that this is kind of a fun medium to get the word out. So yeah, please tell them you heard him on the show and you liked him. Or I mean, I guess if you didn't, you could
so
tell
flattered.
them you didn't like it. But
yeah.
Why would you go up to someone and be like, I hated you. I hated the way you talked on this show.
Don't do that.
It's probably
Don't
a bad
do that.
idea. Don't do that. It's mean. It's rude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see. All right. Anything else? Oh, it's April.
Yep, it is April.
We mentioned at the top of the show, it's April.
And it's
April.
springtime.
Yep. And April is Autism Awareness Month here. And is that worldwide at this point, or that's just in America? I
No,
think-
it's everywhere.
So one of the things that we did last year, we were really excited to do, is we were able to donate some of our the proceeds, because ABA Inside Track is ACE approved. So by listening to our regular episodes, you can apply for a CE. Every episode's worth a CE. And we've been very blessed that many people have taken us up on this offer and written such kind words and have subscribed to the show that way. And so we wanted to give something back to the kind of the communities out at large. So last year we donated a portion of our proceeds to a great school out in Ghana, Autism Compassion Africa. And so this year we wanted to do something similar. So we're going to be donating a proceed of all of anything we get from the CE processing fees. We're going to be donating that. And Jackie, do you want to talk, or Diana, do you guys want to talk about who we're donating to this year?
Yeah, so we were thinking about who has made a big impact in all of our lives. This place for which we would have not been friends, because that's where we met.
Right, yeah.
And so in April, we've decided to give our proceeds to the New England Center for Children in Southborough, Massachusetts, because we've all worked there. We all got our masters through there.
Mm-hmm.
We all got our BCBAs through there.
Yep.
Diane and I got our doctorates there.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of good experience and a lot of good friends, and they do really great autism research, and they provide a lot of great services for children with developmental disabilities and an autism spectrum disorder, both here in the United States and abroad. So we thought this would be a good organization to donate our money to, since they've helped us so much and they help so many other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you were thinking, I'm going to get a couple CEs, maybe I'll get, one or two or next, you know what? This is the month. April is the month. If you want to get a couple CEs, or you're thinking maybe you're going to get 2 over the next 3 months, get 2 this month, because then you can get the satisfaction of knowing, hey, I got 2 CEs or 3 or 10 CEs maybe. I don't know. What am I saying? And then that a portion of that is going to be going to a worthy cause, working with students and young adults with autism, and also pushing the boundaries of research for behavior analysis as well, and helping teach the next generation of behavior analysts. So you could get a warm feeling and get towards your 32 goal at the same time.
I like that.
Yeah.
Warm feelings.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to?
I don't know, why
Why
don't you want to
wouldn't I?
get like 10, 20, 30 CEs from us in
That's a
April?
lot.
It's a lot of podcasts. Hey, remember when we started this show, I remember it was like, well, maybe someday we'll have 10 podcasts that people might listen to. That's probably the maximum amount. You could get an entire
now we have 83.
32 for 2 years. You could get all your CEs through us. Pretty soon,
but don't.
You could do 3 years straight. Just
but
listen to our show. Don't do that. No.
Don't do that. Spread
I'm just saying
out.
you could logistically.
Right.
That's not the best way. You should listen to us every week, but you don't need to.
Right. And just
go to conference.
And when we're talking about CEs, remember that Diana and I make them by hand every single evening. Yeah. So if you
hand stitch,
we got a big loom.
We sew them. So you'll get them within 48 hours. Usually it's 24.
Yeah, you absolutely will. They are coming.
So just so you know.
Yeah.
They're handmade with love.
We usually work on them late at night after we've done our jobs and the kids' baths and stories. Then it's CE time. So
CE time.
You should look for it on late Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. We'll have our wine and our blankets and our low music, and we're like, it's CE time. Like that. Cool.
Something like that.
That's what happens at my house.
I've been watching the British baking show in the background.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
it's kind of the same.
It's sort of a pairing thing.
Yeah.
So that's April. And let's move into our last segment of the show, Errata. And this is the part of the show where folks who write in or leave us messages on a Facebook page or Twitter or any social media, we like to share some of those. Sometimes people have corrections. Sometimes people have topic ideas, comments. And this is the part of the show where we like to share those. So thanks for everyone who wrote to us or reached out to us in any way. We always appreciate any feedback. And Jackie, why don't you take the lead because you have a computer open.
I have my computer open. And so I'm going to bring up a few emails that we've received in the last few months. One of them was from a listener who was asking about using our podcast as unrestricted time. So what we say about that is that the supervision standards state that your supervisor has to determine what counts as unrestricted time. So we can't tell you if you can use our podcast as unrestricted time. Your supervisor has to tell you or recommend that you listen to one of our episodes because it relates to something that you're going to talk about or that you're learning. So you would want to listen if they've recommended it and read the articles for the episodes that are related to your current client's behavioral programming. And hopefully your supervisor will have you do an additional activity and discuss with them about the podcast. So all of that could count potentially as unrestricted time if your supervisor recommends that it can.
Yeah.
Right. And I would err on the side of safety and maybe have the time that you spent reading those articles that were related to your current clients and the time that you spent discussing it with your supervisor as your unrestricted time, and have the podcast mostly be supplemental to that.
Yeah. So it's always good to talk about that. And thanks for writing in and letting us know.
What we can recommend is that ABA Inside Track is sure a fun listen.
It's sure, we're trying. We're trying to make it a fun listen, so that's
a recommend.
Good. Yeah.
Not endorsed by the BACB. I mean, maybe. I don't know. They haven't told us, but...
No.
That's funny. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is that someone commented that when we were discussing on episode 26 about gluten-free, casein-free diets, we may have misspoke outside of our competence. And so what I can say is that research does suggest that gluten and casein-free diets do not alleviate or cure autism. So that is what I can say. That research suggests. So I know that. I may not know much, but I know that. Remember that song?
I don't know much.
Yeah, that.
But no, I love you.
So thanks for your feedback.
Yeah, there's a lot of research floating around out there, right? And I think some of it needs to kind of shake out with what the larger medical community is going to decide regarding gluten intolerance. So there's always more to learn in that area.
Yeah. So
I can also say one thing about there's a concern if you are moving to I believe it's only a gluten-free diet. A lot of the alternatives that you might switch to, so some of the staples, there's a real concern. It may not be a concern anymore, but it was as of a few years ago that a lot of the replacement foods that you might eat, so like a lot of rice potentially would be in your diet. You do increase the risk that you increase like the amount of cyanide that can be in some of those. I know that was a Consumer Reports.
Arsenic.
Sorry, arsenic, not cyanide. Apologies. Arsenic. It was in Consumer Reports a couple years back that was a concern. Again, not something that means you should not that's not a reason you don't do a
All
casein-free,
food
gluten-free diet, but it's something you
will
want to be
kill
thinking
you.
about if you're switching your
Life
diets.
is fatal.
Yeah.
But anyway, so thanks for those comments, and you sent along some articles that we'll be sure to read. So that's awesome. And I want to send another email and a shout out to listener Andy. So he started listening to our podcast upon recommendations from a colleague, and his whole office now listens, which is fun.
Wow.
I wonder if you guys listen together.
That's so nice.
Yeah, they're right here with us in the
We're
desk
like a
next
regular
to us.
cereal. Everyone's talking about us, maybe. No,
Yeah, so
not so much.
he does a lot of in-home services, and he's in the car a lot. So we're glad that we're in the car with you, hopefully making it a little less horrible in traffic. But yeah, so
Thanks for writing in, everyone.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank
We really
you.
do appreciate all your comments.
yeah. And one last, I want to give a shout out to our friend Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Steph Moreau works in the Boston area, and she's been listening to our podcast, and she said that she's on her way down to a conference in Connecticut, and she's going to listen all the way down and all the way back. So, great. So, thanks for
That's a
listening.
lot of
Thanks for
behavior
listening.
analysis. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, right, that is. It's like behavior analysis overload, behavior analysis conference, behavior analysis.
a lot.
Yeah. So, keep writing in. Keep posting on the Facebook page. Remember, you can get yourself a mug if you want one. Get yourself a t-shirt if you want
Yep.
one.
And that's at tpublic.com.
Yeah.
You can find, we have a couple designs. We have the logo design on the mugs. We have the baseball logo design. Again, some we kind of put together for fun, but hey, you know what?
Yeah.
If we ever saw some work one in the wild, we would probably cry and hug you so very much.
And that was designed. I want to give my brother a shout out. That was designed by Hollis Irvin of the Sycamore Workshop.
Mm-hmm. If you're interested in writing to us about any topic or comment, feedback, anything you like, you can reach us at abainsidetrack@gmail.com. You can also write to us on social media. We're pretty much everywhere as ABA Inside Track, so feel free to follow us there, or like the Facebook page, or Instagram's just follow, right? I'm an old person, so I don't know that
Yep.
reference too much. We also want to thank you very much for listening to or watching this episode. All of our episodes go out on whatever you use to get your podcast. Feel free to subscribe and leave us a review. And you can also find all of our episodes posted on YouTube, where we do have the Google closed captioning. The Google closed captioning, if you would also like to take advantage of that very, very cool service. I think that's all the plugs.
That's
YouTube?
it.
The Google.
Well, Google owns YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Everything owns everything. There's only two companies, guys. There's Google and there's Disney, and they own all the companies.
I hope
You're
Disney
right.
owns me.
They probably
At least a
do.
portion of
Check
it.
that Fox acquisition deal.
Disney
Perhaps
owns
you're in
Rob's Heart.
Oh.
Aw.
Disney
there. I don't
owns,
care that you're an evil company. I love you anyway.
Disney owns my arms and legs. Google owns my torso and my
Torso.
face.
Ugh. That's a terrifying dystopia you are spelling out to us.
Oh, well, anyway.
All right,
Anyway.
we
Thanks,
gotta
guys.
go.
All right, thanks everybody so much for listening. We'll be back next week with a full-length episode. And until then, keep responding. Bye. A little early there.